Thanks so much. I'm very excited to be here talking with you guys. As was mentioned, I do social media and digital for a variety of different health-related campaigns at Westat. And as I think we all struggle with, the question we want to answer is how do we move from digital, social, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is that you think of when you think of social media, to behavior change. So my challenge today, and sort of what I hope to do, is to provide some insight and an example of what's actually happening in this space. If you've seen me present before, you know I like to set goals for my presentation, where I would like to and hope to take you in my presentation. I have two goals for today. The first is to demonstrate how social media can provide tools for measuring behavior change. And the second is to demonstrate what this guy, Ryan Gosling, has to do with the work that we all do here sitting in the room today. So, as we pause on this slide for just a moment, I do have another goal, but it's not really related to the presentation. It is to provide some eye candy for you throughout this presentation. Okay, so really, what does Ryan Gosling have to do with all of the issues that we talk about when we talk about health or public health or government, whether you're a contractor or you're an agency? What's he got to do with it? Well, viral online phenomena are rich online, and they've got great followings. So there's Sad Keanu, if you're familiar with this, pictures of Keanu looking sad in all of the iterations of this photo. There's LOL cats, and cats have been huge online for many, many years. And then there's Ryan. And Ryan's got a huge online following. There's the Hey Girl meme, where it's pictures of him with Hey Girl messaging. There's Ryan Gosling and LOL cats, so you're mixing the two worlds, tapping into two very distinct fan bases. And then there is Ryan Gosling cuter than a puppy? And to be honest, I'm not really sure. Puppy's pretty cute. The challenge with these is that they fit very easily into the social media zeitgeist. They tap into our obsession with celebrity. They provide humor. They give you that 5 seconds of your day when you can sort of turn off everything else you're doing and you can kind of laugh and roll your eyes and be ridiculous. But when your goal is behavior change, what does this have to do with what we're doing, and how does it help us? Well, Darren Carr of Social Media Today says that social media provides the tools to not only understand who your consumers are, but what and why they're doing online. And BJ Fogg actually takes that one step further, and he says that, in fact, web technologies exist, and they can, in fact, change attitudes and behaviors, and that this is happening right now. But the resounding question, and this is something I heard yesterday and this morning, is what is happening? What are people doing that is actually using social media to change behavior? Well, I'm going to give you an example, and it's an example that I actually have worked on for CDC. CDC's National Influenza Vaccination Campaign is an annual campaign. It's a national social marketing campaign to raise awareness about flu vaccination and move people to get their flu vaccine. So as we talked with CDC and we said, how are we going to use social media for this campaign? What are the strategies we're going to employ? We really wanted to make sure that our social media was getting us one step closer to that end goal. So CDC worked with Meetup. Meetup, I think everyone knows, but just to make sure we're all on the same page, it's a platform where people organize themselves online and meet up offline. And they organize themselves around hobbies or interests, and there's a variety of different types of groups. There's mommy groups, there's older adult groups, there are the Dachshund Lovers of Brooklyn groups. They're very diverse and they're very active. And so what we did is we picked 75 of them nationwide, and we wanted to engage them, and we wanted to marry them up to the campaign target audiences. So our groups consisted of pregnant women, parents and caregivers, older adults, and chronic disease sufferers. And I'll just stop there for a moment, and yes, there are chronic disease meetup groups, which is pretty cool. And we challenged them. We said, hey groups, what we want you to do is take one of your events, one of your meetups, and instead of doing what you normally do, which might be going out to dinner, going for a hike, doing a mommy and me play date, we said, go get vaccinated together. So what were the results? Well, if you consider the social evaluation framework, and for those of you who may have seen me present before, this may look familiar, but it's basically the four main tenets are reach, insights, actions, and value. It's basically organizing your data into these four tenets in order to show data to support your objectives. And if you're running a health communication campaign and you're trying to show behavior change, then you really want to look at your insights and your actions verticals for the data to support your objectives. So for CDC's campaign, what we saw was 12% increase in intention to get vaccinated amongst group members, 28% decrease in negative attitudes towards flu vaccination. We also know from interactions with the members themselves that by running a campaign such as this, you actually make your health issues stand out because they're oftentimes competing with other health issues, and people are just trying to prioritize what they do when they do it in their limited time. And finally, we also saw that by fitting it into the natural fabric of what they do, that it made it very tangible and doable for them. In terms of actions, CDC's flu vaccination messages were mentioned at almost 1,000 different meetup events. And I put in here by group organizers because there was a discussion yesterday about the value of social media being focused on the idea of it's not just one-way dissemination. That doesn't tap into the value of social. It's the sharing and the conversation that happens around that. So it was by the group organizers that were talking about the campaign. Almost 9,000 meetup members heard these messages, and over half of those members actually shared them with somebody outside of their meetup. So we were able to know that these messages just didn't stay within our program and within the groups, but they actually spread external. And ultimately, this campaign motivated people to get vaccinated, and over 300 people got vaccinated during the course of this campaign. So ultimately, you want to align your social media with your goals. You want to make sure that what you're trying to achieve is actually driving the channels that you're selecting, and that those channels give you the data to support those goals. So that ultimately, you can take something like this and turn it into this. So just a couple of key takeaways. There's a movement to use social media to measure behavior change, and it's currently being done. Opportunities to connect the on and offline worlds and make the health behavior tangible and doable. Consider the insights and actions verticals of the social framework for data to support your behavior change objectives. And Ryan Gosling does, in fact, have a place in discussions about public health communications. So thank you. And I like this last photo. It's very public health focused.